Okay, so the topic of today's video is addition and subtraction of decimals, which is 6.3 in the text. As per normal, please write these steps down. So the steps for addition and subtraction of decimals are similar to those, just normal addition and subtraction. There are a few things you need to be aware of before you just add and subtract, however. Okay, so first of all, step 1 is when you write down the numbers, you need to make sure that the decimal points of each number are directly underneath each other. So you need to line them up. Then you are adding tenths with tenths and hundredths with hundredths. Otherwise, if you have decimal points all over the place, you are not adding them up with their place value. So you really need to make sure you do that. Step 2 is to just fill in, put a 0 on any numbers that are shorter to the right hand side. It just helps you add and subtract a bit easier. You don't have to do this, but it actually will stop you from making mistakes. So I would strongly suggest you get into the habit of doing that. The third step is to just calculate the sums the same. So you just add them or subtract them like you would normally with whole numbers. And then the fourth step is they aren't whole numbers, so you need to make sure that you still differentiate them by putting the decimal place in the answer. Now you make sure that you put the decimal point in the answer underneath the other decimal points in the algorithms. Alright, so directly underneath where it was. I'm going to give you some examples of adding and subtracting. So this is adding decimals. As you can see, the decimal places, they're underneath each other, directly underneath each other. Very important step. Alright, then the next step was to put the zeros, just to help with the process. So we're just putting the zeros. I need to use a red pen so you can see it a bit better. Okay, put zeros wherever the numbers are. You just need to make them all the same. Alright, so then we just add them up. So 2 here, 4 plus 1 is 5, 9 and 8 is 17, obviously, 7, and then we carry the 1 over here. I would put the decimal place in now, underneath each other, then adding 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Don't forget to add that 1 at the top. So then there's 6 and 1 is 7. So the answer is 73.752. Very easy. Subtracting decimals, same thing, just doing subtraction. So the decimal places need to be underneath each other. And then you need to put the 0 at the end, where this one here is missing out a bit. Alright, then we just subtract. So 0 from 5 is 5. 5 from 3, we can't do that because the 3 is not big enough, so we have to borrow from the 6. So we're borrowing here from the 6. So 13 take away 5, that's 8. Putting the decimal place in, remember, bringing it down underneath each other. 9 from 5, well we can't do that either, so we need to borrow from the 4, so it needs to be 15 now. 9 from 15 is 6. We're going to borrow again, that'll make it 0 there. 7 from 13, or 13 take away 7 is 6. So the answer is 66.85. Okay, if you just write down those examples, you should be all good to go with adding and subtracting of decimals.